Hey, it's great to be with you again today. Do you have plans for your life? Do you have it all mapped out? Everything that you're going to do and everything that you hope to accomplish in your life, and you have this ultimate plan, and maybe you're starting your journey and things aren't exactly going the way that you had hoped they would go. There's an old saying, if you want God to smile, make some plans, right? Because God has a plan for us too. And I'm going to use an example. I had a plan for my life when I went to college. I got into college and I loved music and I loved radio. And I thought, you know what? Broadcasting is awesome. I love it. And so I jumped in full force, was the music director at my college radio station, did an internship at a radio station as a morning newsman, and was playing music at night on a music asylum from 9 to 12, and it was awesome. I loved it. And I came out and I demo tapes and I sent them out to radio stations, and everybody said, hey, that's great. You got it. You need more experience, right? Got a job working at a school, running their radio station, and everything changed. I liked working with kids, and I started working there and being involved in their lives and their families' lives. And the next thing you know, I moved up into management and worked my way in education and teaching kids and all of a sudden, right, I'm doing all this other stuff that I never thought I would do. But broadcasting prepared me for speaking in front of other people and ultimately becoming a pastor. Now, let me say this. When I was in my 20s, the last thing I would have ever wanted to be was a pastor, right? No way. That was not on my list of things to do. That wasn't even like on the bottom of the list, right? It was never even a thought. But somehow God worked and moved and changed things and opened up doors. And the next thing I know, I'm a youth leader at a church, and then a pastor comes and says, hey, you know what? You ought to be a pastor. And I said, you're crazy. And he said, no, you're already one, and you ought to be doing it. And more doors opened. And the next thing, I'm an associate pastor at my home church, and then finally where I am now. All of that to say, God moves. God has a plan, right? Things that happen to us when we're younger. Maybe I never would have become a pastor if I hadn't gone into broadcasting and hadn't learned how to speak in front of people. And doors then opened to open up other doors where I would move through and people would be like, hey, you know what? You ought to try this because I think this is something that you're awesome at. And so then I try it. And then the next thing you know, boop. Not old Jed's a millionaire, but old Joey's a pastor. God moves, God shapes, God forms, right? And the next thing you know, God's working in incredible ways that we never thought we would see or be involved in. Are you ready? Will you let God work in your life and open up doors and form you? May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen. Amen.